Look at what this man has done. Look at how Dominic has advanced under his leadership. Every single sector of Dominica has been touched. Tourism, housing, infrastructure, healthcare, education. Look at how many students are studying overseas now. Some people went to study 20 years ago and are still saddled with a student loan. He still turned around and he paid off the other day, I think it was 40% of everybody's student loan in Dominica to give them a ease up. You know, we could go on and on and on. He abolished all school fees, all college fees, everything, abolished that. This is the work of the leadership of Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party. I could go on and on and on, Cecil.
I want to hear Paolo. I'm sure you two have your experience.
I've had lots of experience with the present Prime Minister and the leadership of the Labour Party. Cecil, we have had what? We have had 9 leaders of the Labour Party before.
7 in total.
From 1961, 9.
Yeah.
We've had E.O. Leblanc.
Yes.
1961 to 1970.
Yes.
You have had Ducre in 1970.
No, Ducre was, well,
yes.
you had the Labour Party, which we consider to be a split.
By
so you're going to talk OJ then? OJ
by himself. Then we had Edward Leblanc from 1970 to 1974. Leaders, right? Patrick John 1974 to 1983.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver Seraphine 1983 to 1985.
And
as leader.
No.
Yep.
Anyway, you're giving your vision.
Michael
Yes.
Douglas 1985 to 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Rosie Douglas 1992 to 2000. Pierre Charles 2000 to 2004. Roosevelt Skerrit from 2004. Those leaders. Now we have had one chief minister during that time, which is
Leblanc.
We have had 2 premiers in the name of Leblanc, and Leblanc was the first premier when he got associated statehood in 74, I think, and then Patrick John.
69 associate statehood.
Yeah. Okay. And then now we have had 6 prime ministers in the name of Seraphine, Rosie, Pierre Charles. Mike Douglas was not a prime minister, but I think he acted on many occasions as prime minister. Our present Prime Minister, Roosevelt Skerrit. Cecil, I'm affiliated with the present Prime Minister from 1999. I worked in the Public Works Office in Portsmouth. When he approached me I was the superintendent of works on the North at the time, and, we spoke, and he told me of his intention. I said, sir, if you feel that you can, and then I started working with this man from that day. And Cecil, from the time Roosevelt Skerrit, the present Prime Minister, took over as a Minister of Works, when he was, after the death of Pierre Charles, I saw him, I heard, and I was there when he was nominated and elected as Prime Minister in Montrose. I was right there. And I have had a very close relationship working with the present Prime Minister. And we talk, we greet each other and whatnot. But still, I have seen, as I said before, infrastructural development on the entire country, entire Dominica country, under Roosevelt Skerrit. And his plans and his aim to develop Dominica higher with infrastructure development, I believe we're going to achieve, and we are achieving and what we will achieve under Roosevelt Skerrit, on the end of his stay, we will be able to say, well done, good and faithful servant. Because the type of work I know this at the back of this man's head to do for Dominica, I don't know how some people say, I say Reggie, Cecil, this guy felt he made a song. He walking him the eyes behind their back, but I don't know. Dominica has come a long way, Cecil, under Roosevelt Skerrit. That is all I can say.
What about you, Mr. Nanton? I know that you are very close with the Honorable Prime Minister as we speak. What do you have to say of the tenure of Mr. Skerrit?
Cecil, as someone who worked with Rosie Douglas and with Mike, my hero is Rosie. Mike was my partner and friend leader. My hero is Rosie. You asked me about Skerrit. My mind flashes back to Nathan Barnes, who worked a lot with Rosie Douglas as well, like myself. And whenever Nathan and I meet and we talk politics, we always say, in Roosevelt Skerrit, we are well pleased. And we always say that we are quite sure that if Rosie Douglas was there still, he would have been well pleased with Roosevelt Skerrit. Roosevelt Skerrit has been very focused on meeting the needs of the people. From the first time I met him and had an initial interview with him in terms of candidacy for the Dominic Labour Party, it was a very, very short interview, Cecil. I think you'd have heard me say it before. I heard he wanted to run, or he could have been a good candidate. I went up to Bakers and I met him. And I told him I understood that you're interested in running, that you might want to join with us. His answer was very simple. And he simply said, I have been following Rosie Douglas for a while. I believe he means good for Dominica, and I want to do anything within my power, anything that I can to make him the Prime Minister. I shook his hand and I told him, welcome on board. Because Roosevelt Skerrit, back then, it was no big thing. He wasn't looking for any position. He wasn't looking for any grandeur. He wasn't looking for any name. He wasn't looking for any office. He saw, listened to, and followed someone who he believed was genuinely interested in national development, in people's development, in Dominica's development, and he offered himself to be a disciple. And he came on board doing that. Roosevelt Skerrit, after more than 25 years, because that was 1999, you can count the years going forward. After all these years, he remains the same person. Simple, humble, interested, and wanting to serve and to assist people. He has an insatiable appetite to serve. So there's nobody I have known in politics who could go to one community and see 100 people one-on-one. And when he finished, he will go to a little shop. He will say, give me a little crackers and maybe take a Vienna sausage. And he doesn't eat sausage anymore. He doesn't eat sugar anymore. But he would say, give me like a sausage, a Vienna sausage, or some cube cheese. And we'll go somewhere else and he'll say, let's go to another community. And he will see another 50 or another 100. And he will not get tired about doing it because his heart is in place. He has a special disposition in him. All he wants to do is serve. And I had the opportunity to talk to a fellow Labourite about a month ago after we came from a meeting where we were discussing some political matters on Labour Party. And I told that comrade, you know what? That comrade doesn't get tired at all. That comrade has more and more energy. His interest and his passion in serving the people of Dominica and in serving Labour has only intensified over all those years. He doesn't get tired, he doesn't get weary. He wants to do more and he wants to be more, wants to get more for Dominica. He's not looking for the praise. He's not looking for good fortune. He's not interested in any legacy. He's only interested in helping the people. So he's most excited when he sees an opportunity to help people and to uplift their lives and to transform their lives. So politics is about that. Politics is, is about doing good for the people. And Roosevelt carried it in one thing or another. To me, as somebody involved in politics, uh, the simple things are the things that matter and strike me most. And when Skerritt could say, you know what, our people haven't got toilets. Let's eradicate pit latrine. That means a lot to me. As a boy, I carried my bache. I went down by the bay in Portsmouth in the road by Murphy there, coming down, living Zikak, coming straight down by the park, then going through my bache, or when the rain fall and go by the big drain by Bar River. That is my history. And for a man to come and say, you know what, there are people living like that everywhere around Dominica. And we have to do something to transform that. We have to change that fundamental, basic, extremely basic human need. That is politics. That is a heart. That is a soul. That is somebody who cares and who loves. That is the spirit. That is the PEP labor. That is MEM labor. That is what labor is about. And Cecil, you look at that. I recall Roosevelt Skerry coming to my office in Portsmouth. I work in insurance. And when he was going, he saw a guy on the street. And he said, no, come. Who is this fellow outside there? When I watched, I saw the fellow who was cleaning the drain in Portsmouth. A fellow we used to call Lestrade. And Skerry said, Nanton boy, I never knew where Mr. was. But when I'm on the stage at all my political meetings, this man is always in front of the stage. And sometimes I'm on the stage, I can see he is hungry. I can see he had nothing to eat. But I can see his love and his interest in labor. Get this man for me. We must build a house for him. That is Roosevelt Skerrit. Not somebody looking for praise, looking for office, looking for name, looking for transport. Somebody interested in the working man. Scary driving through Roseau one day, saw that elderly lady in Roseau there, walking crooked with a little tray on her head, selling peanuts. And he said, but we must be able to do something for those people. We must be able to take care of those people. And that is how the Yes We Care program came about. Scary, the thing about him, he has great ideas, he's visionary, but he thinks a lot about the need of the people of the working class. He thinks about the things that are most germane to labor as an organization. And count houses, count school buses to get trained to school, count pit latrine, count access to secondary education, count access to tertiary education, the formation of the state college, the lighting of the different fields all over. Count them, name them one by one, 2 by 2, 10 by 10. At the end of it, count what is in the best interest of the Mali way. And that is what Skerrit is about. And he doesn't get tired about doing it. You say what you want about him. Haisha Didaibla, this young man from Vickers has a passion for elevating the life of the working class. You can criticize him. You can say, I do not agree with him on that point or on that point. But when he tell me, Mano, Melvina say she interested in paying her rent for the house that she has. But he say, Mano, Melvina's not that tall girl there living by the park in Portsmouth there. She must be about 58 at the time. She has 2 more years to work. So wouldn't we allow her to save the little $500 so when she retires, she has something for her children and her grandchildren? Wouldn't we, as a government, be able to survive if we don't collect $500 from Melvina? I'm saying a name, but you could put the name to anybody else. Because as a government, as a party, as a people, that's who we are. And that's how we care. And you may agree, you may disagree, but you can see the logic behind it. Helping the Malawi, the poor man and the poor woman. That is scary. He is my friend. In him, I am well pleased. His interest in assisting the poor people of Dominica is forefront, upfront and personal, fundamental to him. Whatever you do, whatever you say, you may not like him. There are people who fall off of love with him for one personal reason or another, not because they do not understand and support and believe in the principles of labor, but they have a grievance about Roosevelt Skerrit, and therefore they oppose labor today. My thing to these people to say, let's put it aside. Let's put the petty politics aside. Let's put the petty personal grievances aside. Haisha Didaibla. Roosevelt's carrot is about the poor people of Dominica, whether they're from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west. Because you can see that in Skerrit, you go anywhere around Dominica, you can see houses built for the poor people in all the communities. You go anywhere around Dominica, you can see the doors he opened up for education for their children to secondary school and to university education. Go anywhere around Dominica, you can see how he assisted them in bringing pipe-borne water and electricity to them. Go anywhere around Dominica, you can see the jobs he created through the Yes We Care. Go anywhere around Dominica, you can see the work that he has done in creating a positive public sector investment program that brings about an international airport, that brings about a marina, that brings about geothermal energy, that brings about five-star hotels all around Dominica, that brings up about developing a blue and green economy that will create sustainable jobs, high-class jobs for the young people for Dominica now and in the future. That brings about doing so many things, cheaper energies for our people through our geothermal energy development. That brings about giving people certificates of title for the land that they have squatted on for many years. That does so many things, and the list goes on and on and on. Haisha D. Daibla, the young boy from Vegas, the boy when he came in, they say boys with toys. That young boy from Vegas, who is today a mature man, an experienced leader of the Caribbean civilization, has done well, has done a tremendous and remarkable job for the people of his homeland, for the people of Dominica. And wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever your background may be, Haitian, Didaibla, look in the mirror and say, how can I contribute in making Dominica a better place for all to live? Thank you very much on that, and give me the opportunity, Cecil, to speak of a friend, to speak of a comrade, to speak of a leader who leads with his heart. Thank you.
And Manu, I could sense that you, I should say, sorry, Ambassador Emmanuel Nanton, you said this out of
Cecil, I am always Manu. I will always be Manu.
for passion, just to speak of your friend. And it's important that, when we have good friends of that nature, that we can be able to speak of them. I just want to remind you that this program is a paid program from the Dominica Labour Party, and I'm happy that we are able to bring that kind of information. We're not involved in politics, social politics. We are giving some facts and information on the 70 years of the establishment of the Dominica Labour Party. Now, Paulo, you spoke earlier on about infrastructure in the early days. You have been involved in public works matters. Presently, the government is involved in 4 capital projects. There's going to be a 5th one, which is the cruise ship port. But we know of the international airport that's been constructed as we speak, the marina also in Portsmouth, also the cable car in Loda, and the geothermal in that same area, Roseau Valley. Tell me what you think about the dynamic Dominica.
You didn't mention one. We also have the ongoing works on the Lubia Granby Road.
Yes, thank you.
This is also one. Dynamic Dominica, Cecil, from the time they launched this manifesto in the last election, I think the Dominica Labour Party has accomplished almost every item that is attached on this guide. It's a Dynamic Dominica. It's a guide that is being followed with the development of Dominica and its people. And I see, up to yesterday, I was looking at this book. I'll be there with me. A lot of those things are happening simultaneously. The geothermal plant, which, listening to Minister Henderson, should be up and running sometimes later this year, by December, hopefully. The trail You have the marina. So, this marina in Portsmouth, I worked in Portsmouth at the time when on the north. We could have had a jet airport very long ago. If you read the SIPA, Sunday Island Port Authority magazine, I think I had one by me sometime. I don't even know where it is now. But
Yeah.
the marina that is coming up now was part of this project. The marina that is. I hear some people talking about, you're going to damage the where the Sunday Port Island Port Authority and where the marina is being built now. So still, nobody would want to go there. I worked on the north for quite a while, and there is swamp there. And for this type of project to be going on now, it's a dream country for the people on the north. Not only for Portsmouth, but a lot of people, residents from the north, are going to benefit from that project. Dominica on a whole is going to benefit from that project. I have visited marinas in St. Thomas where I live, and the area itself, they have everything there for the tourists. Everything there. The very same thing can happen at that marina in Portsmouth. The very same thing. Stores, boutiques, restaurants, everything in that area. And that is going to make the hotels, not only one, the hotels on the north prosper. More yachts are going to be coming to Portsmouth. And when the yachts come to Portsmouth, Portsmouth is not the only place going to benefit. So this is a plus for the country. You have the international airport. Cecil, I'm looking at documents and photographs, the developments that is taking place in that airport, in that part of the country. This is a plus for the entire north and northeast, and Dominica as a whole, Cecil. Wesley and Marigot and Woodford Hill and Calibishi, they are not the only ones going to benefit. The whole country is going to benefit from that infrastructure development. When that is done, you have the road network going to be improved. So this is a plus for the entire country. Okay, you have the East Coast Road, one leg of it is almost complete. You have the Lubia Grand Bay Road, which is going on. It's a plus for the people in the south. When that is complete, you may have the linkage continuing between Lubia to Petit Savan. So the whole country is going to benefit from all these infrastructure developments as well.
Ian, let me see if I can get Marvlin. I know that you are in the US, Marvlin. Tell me what kind of relationship that you have seen growing with the people where you are in the US. Now creating that confidence in their country, Dominica, by virtue of some of the infrastructural projects that are going on.
Everybody wants the airport. I think even people on the opposing sides, they may criticize, but they secretly want the airport. They want the airport because it will be easier for us to come home. We struggle to come home. Even now we have that. They want to stay to Dominica because they love Dominica, but they have to leave and go pack their boats for the winter in St. Vincent and Totola and different countries because we don't have a marina.